I know what I wanted to do.
Hi, welcome to Real Talk Episode 2. I'm Holly.
And I'm Bettina.
The- Okay, so with the Me Too movement, we have decided to tell our stories. Also, we're telling our stories, no one else, because we've had that issue too, where people have tried to tell our stories.
Yes, they trying to tell my story and use it to their advantage.
I think that's so bizarre. But, okay, let's
I'm
get to the. I don't even know how to transition to this.
um,
Um, so I'm glad that people are finally, going after rapists and stuff.
Me
And there's
too.
finally justice being done.
Right, even if it's a slow process, because I know I made a post yesterday about the doctor with the judge, and somebody was saying it wasn't enough. We got a pussy grabber for our president, and I said, well, you know, I so we kind of have to take notice when there is a step in the right direction.
Exactly. That's how was telling my roommates because they were like, that's going lightly on him. I'm like, yeah, but uh, I think that it was to step in the best direction possible. And it's justice for the girls.
Right.
And honestly, I feel like, yeah, it probably should have happened sooner. But I think that in the light of the fact that we do have a pussy grabber in office, that it is awesome that we are still having judges stand up for what is right and what is wrong.
Oh, I loved it. She told him she signed his death warrant.
Yo,
ah.
now let him be in solitary this whole time.
hmm And he still had the elitist chip on his shoulder, typical doctors from the lab coat mafia have.
That chip is gonna get knocked the hell off.
He'll be somebody's bitch.
Yo, I don't know. It's crazy that I was so happy when I read that. I was like, "Oh, those girls gotta be, happy that justice is finally being served."
I thought the same way, especially because I didn't receive justice in my case because I just wasn't um, strong enough to face the scrutiny.
I can't say being a kid when I went through it in the justice system in California. I I couldn't go. Couldn't put myself through it when I was older. I couldn't do it, and maybe that makes me weak or whatever. But I just couldn't do it.
It doesn't make you weak. It makes you know your strengths, and strength is not always head-on battle as people think it is.
Yeah, when I was, I think I was 9 when I started going. No, way younger. I think it was like 6 or 7, maybe even younger than that. When I had to testify against my father, and they even at that age they made it seem like it was my fault.
Yep.
So in this weird crazy world we live in, that even a little kid, like a baby basically, cuz I was 4 when his shit started, that you are still made to feel the victim. Not the victim, but you still made to feel like you caused this. And that is weird with society.
It's because half of the police and judges and lawyers are rapists.
Right. I just think that until like we get past that part of things, it's not gonna get better.
Not gonna get better. I mean, you can't have the robbers prosecuting the robbing.
Right.
Expect real results. I mean, and then other things that people need to consider as far as the law goes is the law is not moral. It was never based off of morals. It's never really based off of ethics.
It's basically based off if they can prove it or whatever. I get that. It's just yesterday was kind of like this like light in all of this because it was like justice was had for all these people.
Right.
And no, I don't think it's because it's celebrity or whatever. I think because some of these girls weren't. Like, let's just be honest. Like, some of these girls were not in that list of people. There were so many of them. So we can't say it's just because they were famous. But I think they're shining a light on things, and I think it will make I think it will have a trickle down effect.
That's what I'm hoping. I don't know. My thoughts on the justice system as it is just really fucked up. So
Mine
I
too.
try not to say anything.
Mine too. That like normally, like I never have anything positive to say about any of the justice system, but the that man got served his death warrant.
He did. Sorry, I'm over here getting happy birthdays.
Trying to put your phone on
vibrate. Damn.
Speaking of which, let me make sure mine is on them.
There goes the house phone.
Are you kidding me?
Just pick it up and hang it up. That's what I've been doing.
I don't know if it's gonna be like the school or something.
You've reached the Anderson Vance residence. We can't come to the phone right now. Please leave a message after the beep.
Y'all motherfuckers aren't gonna leave a message? All that, and you didn't leave a fucking message.
Nope.
You dicks.
So you want to go into our stories?
Where do I start? Okay, so mine started when I was probably around the time I was 4. It's my like earliest memory. And it's not really a memory. I thought it was a nightmare, if I'm honest. Like for years I thought it was a nightmare. Until I was having a conversation with a cousin and she has the same nightmare. So that's not a coincidence. And then talking with an aunt, I find out that it was my father yet again, which I never understood how. Okay, so this is gonna sound really bad, but like at the age of 9 or so, when he picked all his shit back up, because he stopped for a while. He had a weird behavior where he would stop for a while and I would think everything was fine and I would get comfortable again with like living, and then he'd start his shit up again.
Oh.
So I was 9. I had just had foot surgery and he started his shit again. But just having foot surgery, double ankle construction, ankle like complete reconstruction of both my feet, and I couldn't move my feet. I was in casts, and he started this stuff again. I had no fight. I literally at that point in time, I had no fight. I think at that point, I was just like, this, it's gonna happen. I don't know why.
That's because he knew when you were most vulnerable.
And then, like, it went on for a long time. He was on drugs at this point. And before I say anything, no, it was not all drugs. Trust me. He was on drugs at this point, and apparently he was out of money. And he sold me to his friends. One of which, the only friend I know that actually like gave him drugs for me was Marty. Thank God he's dead. Not God rest his soul. Hope he burns in hell. Hope he's burning in hell. But he took me to the shed and did a lot more than my dad ever did. Like, my dad always touched and stuff, and then he did a lot more. A lot more. Then I think he pretty much told my dad what all went on, because my dad just continued from there. All the while, like, I tried to tell my grandma. She didn't believe me. Or she would tell me when I got older, and she finally did, like, start believing me. Because, you know, when we moved from California, it stopped for a while again. And I honestly thought maybe it was the drugs. Because he always seemed high whenever he was doing all that stuff. But when it started when I was older, a few years later, all he was doing was smoking pot. So it wasn't drugs. He was just a fucked up person.
Right.
But when I was like around 16 and I told my grandma again, she finally believed me. And the things she told me, I cannot believe a person told a girl that at all. She told me that her mother said it was a girl's lot in life that we carry our secrets. And that's what her mother told her when she told her about an uncle touching her. And to say that to a girl is bullshit. That should not be your lot in life. You should not have to hold your secrets as a girl. Just because we're girls and we have a pussy? I know I'm saying it, whatever, vagina, whatever. I don't care if it's, whatever the terminology you want to use. Just because we have a vagina doesn't mean that you have everybody gets access.
Mm-hmm.
And that we have to hold our stuff in and keep it like, no, that is not how you treat you. That's not how you treat that. When somebody comes to you and says something, you have to take it at face value and say, okay, well, I have to investigate this shit.
Right. I mean, that would be the right thing to do. My story is a little bit different than yours.
You could tell your story. I didn't know how much detail to give because I was little.
Okay. Mine started at 4 with my stepdad's brother. And if I'm honest, his sister too.
Oh my god, I didn't even say about the stupid pencil shit with my mom and her sister and her sister's son.
No, I don't know if you want to put that out there into the universe. It's up to you. I don't care. It's up to you.
I don't even. That just made me think Yeah, so all this stuff was happening with my dad and they knew it. They knew it. So in order for them to get me to, like, I guess, push me into saying something about my dad, they, Roberta, my mother, and Roberta's son, Scott, held me down and basically raped me with a pencil.
This is unimaginable.
And that was the evidence that they had that my dad had molested me. Because they called the cops immediately after, because Roberta said to me, I'll never forget it. I'm calling the cops. You tell them this was your father, or I will kill your brother.
Yo, I'm just gonna say this. It's gonna sound mean. It's gonna sound whatever. Can't nobody do psychotic like white people, yo.
I don't even know where that, like, he was a baby, like, just born baby. Like, I watched him be born baby.
Yeah.
And you're gonna threaten his life and rape me with a pencil. So that's what triggered, like, all this stuff with the courts and stuff when I was like 4 or 5, when I started going through all that, because I was raped with a pencil by my mom, her sister, and a little itty bitty boy. I don't know why they, like, got a boy into it.
Because they're sick and they're demented.
So I don't put anything off to Scott, like, at all. He was little. He was a kid. But that is crazy behavior. If you want someone to say anything about whatever, you should have just said, okay, tell them the truth. Why? If you knew all this stuff was happening with my dad, why'd you have to add more crap onto my pile of psychosis?
Because they're psychotic.
Okay, now I'll do your story. I'm sorry, I had to say that. Because I was just like, shit, I forgot all about that.
You're good. No, my molestation started at like 4 with my stepbrother's brother and his sister. A lot of people don't want to consider it what it was because he's not that much older than me and she's my age, but it is what it is. So it went from like 4 to 12. And then 13 and 14, I met my best friend, Brittany, and we decided we were going to run away. So, because what happened was I told my grandma, and my grandma believed me, and my dad believed me, and my grandfather believed me, and they all called the police so that we could get an investigation going. Well, my mom didn't believe me. She told me that I was a freshy poo little girl and I deserved it basically. And that's what she told the police. So the detectives didn't believe me. So me and my bestie, we decided we were going to run away because nobody would listen to me.
My question is this: what's a freshy poo little girl?
I don't know. She said I asked for it.
You're a little girl. Just because you wear dresses and bows in your hair doesn't make it okay for somebody to touch you in your no-no spot.
Exactly. But my mom is a fucked up individual.
Yes, she is. So is mine.
She's a demon in my life. So we ran away. And then when I got back, my grandma was like, don't do it again. And I believe you and stuff. So I grew from there. I don't want to go into details because I don't like to go into details about that part of life. You know, it happened a few years ago. The guy was on my Facebook. So I thought better of having him on my Facebook with my little girls and pictures of my little girls on my Facebook.
I don't know if I would have been
so
strong enough to add him.
It was before I had where you had to ask me. So he was
Oh.
just on my stuff. He has a little girl now. That's a very curious mix. He has 2 little girls.
Ooh.
People like him, I think, shouldn't be allowed to have little girls or little boys because they'll do it to either. They're disgusting. So, I was getting over that with the help of the Bridge, which is a peer mediation thing, and counseling. Then lo and behold, in my 20s, I got raped by a sadomasochist. No, this is not like 50 Shades of Grey. Like somebody trying to say, this is not like 50 Shades of Grey.
Hold on, before you get into your story, I wanna paraphrase this. When you go through therapy, they tell you to talk about it. So it is not meaning that our stories are not as bad as yours or whatever because we talk about it. It's just as traumatic and everything as your experience or whatever. Just because we're talking about it doesn't mean it's less than or
Right.
not as crazy as what you went through or whatever. Because trust me, I had a PTSD moment yesterday and died.
You did. It's okay. It happens. At least it came out good.
But I'm just saying, like, I'm putting that out there because we're talking about this and we're being real and we're being honest about our situations. But I also wanted to make sure that this is not something where people think that it didn't happen or it's lot is.
No, more talk needs to happen because this is why these atrocities happen because people sit on it and it doesn't make you any better because you're sitting on it. Actually, from a therapeutic standpoint, you're worse off than I am.
Right. I'm just making sure people are getting that because there's going to be the people that say, "Oh, their stuff isn't as bad as the stuff I went through because they're talking about it." No. Don't even get it twisted.
Right. So, in 2011, there's a whole fucking different experience because not only did I just get raped, I had the betrayal of somebody I thought was my best friend. She got in my car and she tried to pull off and my shit.
That's not a friend, but go ahead.
No, not only that, like I had to go off on her because she still didn't know what happened when I got in the car and then we hit the OnStar button and the paramedics came. And once I got into the hospital and while I was having the rape kit done, she was lying to the detectives to cover her ass. My soon-to-be ex was yelling at me while they're doing a rape kit to the point where I made the detectives put him out. It was a very horrendous rape. If I get just a little bit of grit in my mouth, like that night, and no, I wasn't one that just laid there and just zoned out. I was fighting a Marine. My knees to the balls and punching him in the face didn't do anything. It was like fighting a machine. I have soft hits. I have very hard hits. So, yeah, like family and my soon-to-be ex was upset because go through with a court case, but that was because my so-called best friend, like I said, threw me under the bus, and a detective started basically going against me, and they were supposed to be special victims unit, which don't believe the fucking TV show. It is so not the same. They don't give a fuck about you.
It's I don't I don't know why I like the TV show, but it doesn't show reality at all.
It doesn't show the greaseball detectives that they have up in there. So and still to this day, my soon-to-be ex says I cheated him out of justice, and I have to remind him quickly, I'm the one who endured the rape. I'm the one who has nightmares to this day about it. Don't you ever fucking tell me I went through it and I didn't give you justice.
Right.
Like your grandmother, where she said we bear our secrets. My grandmother, I needed to speak up, but she has her that she tried to change with me, where she didn't have that strength when she had her daughters.
Yeah. I couldn't believe my grandma said that to me. I was so in shock that she said that and so appalled.
Right. I would be too.
Cause she is, other than that, she is, well, no, not even other than that. She was my woman influence because my mom left at 9. So
Wow.
she was my mother, basically. Like your grandmother was your mother, basically.
Right. And she I find out things now about how she handled the same situation that happened with her daughters. So I see why she tried to instill strength in me, and I'm appreciative of it. I just wish for them that she would have handled theirs the same way, but I guess you live and you learn.
I think it's also a different time. I think we're starting to live in a time that it's okay to speak up. Like with the Me Too movement, it's making it where it's okay to say that, your stuff. Okay, so when she gets back, I'll go into my stuff. I don't know. I think it's crazy that it's taken us to come forward. I think it's interesting that it's taken all this for people to start coming forward with their stuff.
Interesting, and at the same time, it could be a slippery slope for liars.
It can be.
We already know with Salem, there is such thing as women lumping up and getting into mass hysteria together.
Right. I don't know what. I think there's already been cases that are coming up that are not exactly true.
Yeah,
and I think
see, those are the bitches that piss me off, because they are the ones that cause people they cast doubt on people like you and I and others that have really endured it.
Yeah. So I think I was about 21 or so. No, I think it was 21. I went to a party with some friends. And this certain guy was there that had been pursuing me over and over and over for months. When I say pursuing me. Like, he kept asking me out, and I kept saying, no, I'm not interested. No, I'm not interested. And it was mostly because, like, he gave off this weird vibe that I was like, I don't want to be around that. Why am I going to date that? If I'm honest, you know, I don't. If you put off a weird vibe, I'm not going to be your friend or associate with you. Yeah, so, like, I don't know. And so, like, we went to this party, and him and some friends were there, and my friend, well, who I thought was my friend, said, oh, I'm going to go and get some cigarettes. Mind you, like, the party's winding down. And we've been drinking this whole time. I'm not even going to say we haven't, but we were drinking.
That doesn't give anybody an excuse.
And I was feeling weird. Like, when I say weird, I didn't feel like I was in my body at this point. I remember her saying she was going to go get cigarettes and her leaving. And then I remember bits and pieces. And I remember freaking out in my head and trying to get things to stop, but it wasn't stopping. It got more and more crazy. Where his friends and stuff joined in. There was like 5 or 6 guys. I don't know. I don't remember everything. I just remember waking up naked in my yard the next morning. Like you like you threw out a piece of garbage or something on the side of the road is how it seemed. It wasn't like a here, everything, whatever. And my dad, that motherfucker, he brought me inside and told me he wasn't going to tell my grandma if I fucked him.
Oh.
It wasn't a consensual. I hit him. I fought him the whole way. Didn't matter at all. It couldn't stop him. He was one of those people that when you get him angry, you can't hurt him.
Like a stupid Marine.
Yo, I don't. And so, like, he raped me after I was raped by all these people. So, and then, like, I told my grandma I was gonna do the rape kit stuff and everything. But I also remembered going through the case. Like, she literally reminded me. Like, I think this was her way of stopping everything from becoming a case. But she's like, remember what happened last time? When you were a little girl. I remember how you cried on the stand.
Your grandmom is passed, so I'm trying not to say anything.
Say it, because I want to say it. I just never, like...
It's a bitch.
She was! Like, I didn't, like... realize that until later. Because, like, there's parts of her that I really miss, and then when I think about it, I'm like, she was a bitch, and she was a horrible mother.
Can nobody do say like that?
I don't even know, like, the hell. But then the reason why I know something was put in my drink in Vegas was because it was the same feeling, the same out of body experience.
What happened? I was having my own PTSD moment because the guy that raped me and the guy who raped me was Spanish. I was having
I don't even
my own cray-cray moment.
And this motherfucker in Vegas was retarded. He drugged himself.
He was retarded. Because I thought You weren't drugged because he had drank the drink too. He drunk the Kool-Aid too.
No, he drank a ton of water.
And then I started watching him consume water like a fucking camel. I mean, I'm really thankful that even though I was in my PTSD, that I didn't hurt him because I felt like hurting him bad.
I would have liked you to hurt him.
Yeah,
But that was like that same fogginess and don't remember thing. I don't do that when I'm drinking. Normally, I don't. But even with the rape when I was younger, I have people that don't believe me, that think I just gave it up. Oh, yes, I'm going to give it up to 5 or 6 guys just willingly. No, I'm not a hoe. I'm not that.
Oh, for the people that don't believe you. Zip my lips on this shit.
But I think it's interesting when my friend called me the next day because she was leaving to her class trip. And she called and she was like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." She's like, "When I get back, I have some weed for you." I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Bitch was an ass associate. That's what I call them now.
And I can't believe that, like, she got weed for.
And with that one, I had mine's happen with some woman that I gave a house to live in occasion and cooked for her and saved her life when she OD'd 3 times.
Should just let the bitch die. I'm sorry, that was mean.
Because it was all in vain. I let her go to a homeless shelter because her parents are 5 minutes from me.
It's just crazy. Watch who you're friends with, first of all. Don't trust everybody.
When they start, and then watch out when you start trying to get with one that's trying to control. That's not normal.
Right. Or when they trying to get with you and then they stop talking to you.
Oh my gosh. So to break it up a little bit, I had a pussy scouter on me. So we're gonna call it pussy for a threesome, but no, that's not the way you go about it either. I hope this thing is switching. I don't have to do this again. Today is so crazy. Come across all types of monsters.
Right. I just don't even.
Monsters, real life. You know, people think that monsters are these green and purple and ugly tentacle things in stories, but they're actually people. And
Right. I just can't. And like the friends you have had, the friend I have had, like friends I've had, no. Girl, we be bad at friends. We find worse fucking people.
I think my people picker is just broken.
I
That's what
think
I've come to a conclusion to. That bitch is broke down. Cause I ain't doing no new friends. I just went through a thing where I don't think I want any new friends.
don't blame you.
Tried to make friends. And a sexual offender try to use my story to gather more women, to scam more women, and have more blackmail women. So
It's ridiculous, is what it is.
it's been crazy. It's odd. It's funny that we're talking about this today because today's my birthday, but oh well.
I'm sorry.
It is what it is. That's something I lived through. And I'm
Hey, it's the start of a new year for you. Literally. We're cleaning the whole plate of life.
yeah. And more than one way, man.
Yes. But
It makes me thankful that I made it to 32.
right? Me too. I can't believe that I'm gonna be 32 this year.
Yeah. Faces of gray hair prove these things are happening.
I don't know what you're talking about. All mine are red.
Oh no. Oh no. If I lift up my vein, it's a whole bunch of them up under there.
Well, see, the camera does not show it.
Nope. We just got black and highlights. Thank God. I don't, like one girl put it, thank God I don't look like what I've been through.
Right, that's how I feel. I'm like, I might look all nice and young and everything, but that doesn't mean I haven't had a hell of a life.
Oh, it's been a rodeo, dude.
I'm ready for it to calm the fuck down, is what I'm ready for.
You're ready for it to calm down. Just when I thought my life was going to calm down, it's getting more and more complicated by the day.
Right?
So, yay. Oh, yeah, we've talked since. Oh, yeah, we've talked since I had my surgery, but I don't think I talked about it.
No, I don't think you have.
Mm.
You said you weren't ready to talk about it.
I'm ready now, but we can save it for next episode if you want.
Yeah, it might be a good thing to save for next episode.
Because that way I'll have the picture and everything of my ovary.
Yeah.
Gone. Menopause is interesting,
Yes, it is.
Bitch on wheels 3.0. And I haven't had my hormone therapy for 2 weeks now, so.
Oh no, why not?
Because I haven't gotten it. I gotta go get it.
Go get it. You have the insurance.
Yep, gotta go get it. It's been interesting. Hot flash and all.
Yeah. Well, I think that will conclude this episode, and then we will talk about hysterectomies and all that good stuff next time.
Yes.
Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye.